got my headphones in, but I'm still obviously not coming up on the screen.
Can you come in off your phone?
I'll switch it off just now.
Because if you come in from your phone, oh, g'day, Adam, how are you? We're live.
Yeah.
Oh.
We're live.
We are live.
We are live.
Hi.
Good morning.
Yeah, we're live. Right.
Hello.
Right. Good evening, all. It's morning in Australia, evening here. Welcome all. Please put in comments who you are, where you're watching from, replay. Today, instead of doing a one-on-one, do a group chat, group discussion, Mental Health Awareness Week, day 4 here in the UK. We've got the beautiful Scott Carson. He's done massive work for the Campfire Project. And, obviously, he hasn't sent me a bio, so over to you, Scott.
Yeah. Good morning. So I'm Scott Carson, founder of Sunday Sessions and life assistant at Real Life with Scott Carson. So I and form deeper relationships with their loved ones. So yeah, that's me, and I'm looking forward to today's chat. Thank you, Adam.
Fantastic. We've also got the brilliant Sharon Chimello. Is that how you describe it?
Well, it is, but if you're in Italy,
Chimello?
it's Camello.
Ah.
Camello.
Camello. With the hand.
Shazza. And
Shazza.
the Team Whisperer.
Yes. Now we're not getting sound.
Yeah, I think Adam's frozen. That's right. The three of us will run while we're waiting for him.
Oh, I've not, have I? I'm here.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Good. We didn't get
Yep,
sound then.
Yeah. Shit. Yeah, I'll make this quick then. She's a life coach, she's a teacher, she's a mom, and she helps with depression.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Hi, everyone.
We're not freezing, are we? There you go. Yep. We have also got Yvonne. I know she's having technical issues with the camera, but she's here, live and well.
I am here. Yes, I am here. I'm going to try my other laptop.
She'll get on eventually.
I'll get here eventually.
Yeah.
Sorry that you can't see me.
Yeah, great to have you here, guys.
Look, that's a beautiful
It's
thing.
okay. It's okay.
about
I'm glad you're all here.
Good to be here.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I just this is a good analysis for the time at the minute. Things aren't working properly. Things aren't going right, and how do you get through it? You just keep persisting. With mental health awareness.
Absolutely.
There's no difference to life right now. Everybody's frozen. Yeah. Everybody's uncertain. Things are going wrong. As long as you keep moving forward, you keep persisting. We've tried a few different things with Yvonne. She's trying another laptop. If that doesn't work, we'll probably try it. But it's life, and that's people often talk about mental health and where do you start? What do you do? You start by just taking action. Start by taking one step forward to do something different, So I'm sorry to jump in on that, but I just wanted to throw that there because Adam, I'm not hosting tonight, so I'll step back and let Adam.
Just relax, Scotty.
Yeah.
But that was a good analogy, wasn't it?
That was. Well, led in very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on, Scott. Chill out, drink your coffee, and enjoy the show, just like the rest of you. But anyway, no, he's right, because just the other day, last week it was, I remember we was on a 4-way chat with Scott when he was hosting, and it took me 20 minutes just to get on.
Yeah.
For goodness sake.
Which, wow. But we got there in the end. We got there.
I was working with Andy Bryce from over in England there, and he was doing his very first Facebook Live. Last night, one of the guys who was actually watching that was watching the live broadcast. It took 3 days and 15 attempts for us to get one Facebook Live.
Yeah.
But and believe it or not, the content was actually called Failing Forward. So I couldn't have got it any better. But it was just, that's life. You know, we learn to walk by falling over a lot of times. And the irony in that is last night I actually got an email from my son, which tore me apart a little bit. And I'll share it with you because it's, where am I? Okay. It's hit hard, pretty hard last night. Yeah. I hope you're doing well. So I kind of think it's my fault. Well, because I make mistakes a lot and really bad ones. Don't bother coming up. I'll do an Uber dinner. But I still get yelled for my mistakes. To me, I'm a really, really big mistake. To everyone, my personality isn't great. I'm not sure I want to go back to school because everyone at school thinks I'm an asshole and a huge one. So can I be homeschooled because I've lost my personality?
Oh, bless.
That's what I got last night. Now, I'm going to give you, because I think it's really important, because at the moment we're having a time. There's my mental health is something that I'm very familiar with because my wife had a very severe accident a few years ago, and through different medical institutions not doing the right thing, and anyway, it's left us with a bit of a hole. So my wife does get angry a lot, and it's part of head trauma, and it's life. So he does get yelled at a lot, and probably a lot more than what most do. But you know, we work through it. So I'm going to give you my response because I think this is important. Hello, you gorgeous young man, Mr. Oscar Carson. Thank you so much for my Uber delivery. You always put a smile on my face, especially when you do things like this. Well, guess what? A lot of people think I'm an opinion too. Now, an opinion means arsehole between us because everybody's got one, right? So that's and especially at school, and that's why I only talk to X, Y, Z. And then I broke down what some of the kids are like and how they make mistakes in their strengths and their weaknesses. And then I go back to, I'm not going to put theirs up, or I will put mine up. Then there's this kid called Oscar, a leader, caring, powerful, can talk about situations that others cannot, but he can be in fairyland, and he has very strong opinions on what is right and wrong, which makes people fear him. He is just like Dad. I love this kid. He takes on big challenges others won't. Sometimes it's lonely being a leader because others will wait to do something when you have already done it. I promise that being a leader is awesome, and it takes time to learn your skills. But each mistake is another lesson that will help you with your new mistakes to come. You know how to support people, and this is a true gift. I love hearing your actual opinions, as they are so often the right opinions. But guess what? I get them wrong too. If you had seen my broadcast on the campfire today, I made so many mistakes. Whoops, lessons. Don't tell anyone, but I think you have actually stumbled upon the secret of life. Life is full of mistakes, or as I like to call them, lessons, although sometimes it's really hard to find these lessons inside the mistakes. They are always there. The key is to look for them. If you can't find them, I'm here to help you look for them. Oscar, I'm so proud of you for writing this email to me. It shows me how much you trust me, and that means everything to me. I trust you too. It makes me so happy that you are my son. I feel really special because you are my son. I'm so proud of you. Thank you, Oscar. Let's go out for lunch tomorrow. I love you, Rockstar.
Beautiful.
So I truly, a lot of our mental health issues and opportunities in life are there because we don't address things in childhood. Here's a kid that can vocalize himself that's really, he's different, you know, and he doesn't get along with other kids because he's different. And he's the most beautiful kid I've ever, you know, he's just beautiful. So how do we support him? We don't sit there and we don't tell him what to do. We support him. We let him come to us. We let the kids come.
Yeah.
We don't say no. Okay, that's great. I really appreciate that. Tell me more. Help me understand that. Yeah. So that's just what happened tonight, and that's, you know, true to where it, right?
Yeah, wow.
I know. Thanks for that, Scott. You're making me tear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, yeah.
Because it's not
because what I've always learned. Yeah, I've always learned is when somebody has got something like that, a problem, and they want help, they reach out. But what I've always learned is you let them lead the conversation.
Yeah.
And if they're struggling, we are there to help them and guide them.
Quite often, the answers are actually within the people already. They just need the opportunity to hear themselves think so that they can actually get a break. Hey, that looks better.
Hello.
Yvonne. Hooray.
I'm here.
Wow.
This is actually my phone I'm using now. Honestly, the gadgets that I've been using tonight has been incredible. Anyway, sorry.
How awesome is it at the minute with all the different opportunities to learn?
Welcome, Yvonne.
Thank you. I think my glasses need to go on because I can't see a blooming thing. But anyway, carry on. Sorry to disturb things there.
No problem. It's perfect at the minute because that's what life is. It's interrupted. You know, resilience is about the ability to keep moving forward based upon the experiences you've had. You know, like when you fail, resilience isn't about, you know, just getting the answers. It's about continually finding answers and moving forward towards things and taking the opportunity to find the lessons in things. So, yeah. So I'm going to go quiet for a minute because I've been talking way too much. Cheers.
Exactly.
Cheers.
Yeah. Exactly, Scott. Exactly, Scott. Because when you mention the word fail, I have learnt from a good friend of mine that fail, well, every word has a meaning to them. So, like, when you hear the word no, you think the next opportunity. When you hear the word fail, it's first attempt in learning.
Yep.
That can come on what's the word? On all connections with everything in life.
Yeah. The one word I despise in the English language is no. Because if you put, it's a full stop upon any sense and anything you're trying to work through. If you say no, it's finished. If you say no, but this is the reason why I'm thinking that, it gives you an opportunity to explore new avenues and open up into another area. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's interesting. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm going to let someone else talk because otherwise I'll just
because you always like because I'm in loads of mental health groups all over Facebook, and every time I'm coming across posts, they're always calling themselves failed. But I don't think the concept of what fail actually means, because they've not really learned how to manage how they feel.
Yeah.
So that's why it's us like us four, or even millions of people, to actually help them and support them. Like just the other day, my daughter felt low, so I was just lifting her spirits up, because I've learned to let the negative feelings go and just focus on the positive now, because positive gets you far in life.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Well, positivity is a great thing. You know, what determines your output is your input.
Yeah.
So protecting what comes in, protecting the gates is really super important. You know, like if you're around negativity all the time, there's no opportunity for positivity to come out. So you got to protect that. And in life, there is negativity, and it's everywhere. It's in media. Media is just a fear-based campaign telling you what you can't, what you've done wrong, and what you haven't got, and so you need to do this. So how do you protect yourself? You know, you make sure you're around positive people. You talk about positive things. Read positive books.
Well, what I've done.
Sound is not good at
it. Yeah, totally, Scott. But obviously, I've learned also. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, because like 2 years ago, well, I even just growing up, circle of mass. It was full of positives and it was full of negatives, but negative than positive. And I felt like I was getting nowhere in life. I didn't accept that disability. I didn't accept that I've got mental health issues. Now I've learned to kick them. I found the courage and the confidence and the motivation into kicking all the negatives out of my life and focus on the positive people in my life now. And I can say I'm a lot happier than I was just 12 months ago.
Yeah, yeah.
They say that you are the sum of the 5 people that you hang out with the most.
Yeah.
Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's also a lot of work going on in gratitude, isn't there? A lot of people are joining gratitude projects and writing daily gratitudes. I think gratitudes are really important, as long as we're also backstage sorting out the big issues. I think we need coaches and psychologists and counselors to help people work through their big baggage. But on a daily basis, the gratitudes are fantastic. I do 5. I call it the big 5, and I teach my clients, what am I grateful for? What am I excited for? What am I proud of? What am I happy about? And what am I committed to? So I'm committed to finishing my course. I'm proud of exercising every morning. And sometimes there's nothing. I remember when I had nothing that I felt excited about. So, well, what could I organise? Can I organise tomorrow we're having a picnic with the kids? You know, give yourself something to look forward to. If you can't fill out those 5 gratitudes, maybe you can take some action to produce something that you can be grateful for. And it's about what you said, Scott, about putting that one foot in front of the other. So
yeah, absolutely. I think you can rewire your brain, and that's just one of the ways that you can do it. And have you read The Magic by Rhonda Byrne?
Yes.
And if you practice that, it's amazing. It really makes you think, and you know, you're putting that into everything that you can think about in your day. I think, as you know, if you've read the book, you'll see that she goes through the process. Yeah. But I think at this time as well, in terms of the lockdown, people are beginning to realise that what they've been grateful for, because you take things for granted. And I think it's in situations like this that people are starting to realise, actually take it for granted that we can get in a car and drive somewhere, that we can give a family member a hug or whatever. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping that when we come out of this again, that people won't forget this and remember to be grateful for things, because it really does rewire the brain. Yeah. And I think it's easy for people to say, well, what have I got to be grateful for? This is the situation I'm in. But there is always something, no matter what position you're in, to be grateful for. And when you start practicing that regularly, that's when the changes come about, the positive mindset comes about. It's one of the ways anyway, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree completely with you all.
Yeah, because obviously during this lockdown, because during this lockdown, first few weeks, it was hard because it's trying to explain every single to an autistic child that he has to do schoolwork, but at home, we're the teachers now. And yet it was really hard to adjust to it. It really was. Like, because even just raising an autistic child, that has a massive effect on somebody who lives with mental health. And I've now learned to deal with that. And obviously now I've just completed my level 2 in mental awareness over the weekend. Well, yeah, it took me a month to do it, but I'm grateful that I've done it. So now I can move up that ladder a step more.
Good.
So can I ask something, Adam? With your, is it a daughter who's got autism? Okay, so
my son.
Your son. Okay, cool. So because there's a beautiful lady by the name of Leah Follett who wrote a book, Autism to Autistic, Autism to Artistic, and I actually learned a lot about life in general from reading the book, and about and I'd like to hear your experience on this, because I used to build swimming pools for a lot of different people, but the ones I enjoyed the most were for autistic kids, because we had sensory swimming pools where we just made sure there was very light flow in the water, so that it was cascading. You could hear that very gently. It was a really calming effect. But one thing I did learn is the importance of routine. So to break away from the school and not have that routine, how hard was that for you to get that back?
It was very hard, and I'm actually glad we're getting the school's help. Like, obviously, just a few weeks, he's been going back to just twice a week, all day, and it's given us a bit of a break. But what we've learnt, what the school has advised us, is when it comes to homeschooling him, encourage the work, but if he's got his mind fixated, he does not want to do that work, don't force it. Let him have a day off, or do it in little bits. So the school has been absolutely fantastic with us.
Auntie Shaz, can you read that?
I was just looking for it. I was just thinking I must look for that letter. Keep talking. It'll take me a minute to find it.
That's right. Yeah. So I need to learn more about you. Where are we? What, you're in Fife?
I am, yes.
Yep. So how are you involved in the mental health industry?
Well, I've been a social worker for 21 years, and I work with offenders, and so, well, you can imagine the client people that I work with have obviously experienced trauma. The majority of the people that I work with have experienced trauma and difficult upbringings and backgrounds and abuse of varying sorts. And I work with people to help change their behaviour. And I work with any adult over the age of 16. It's men that I work with, although I have worked with women in the past. So I have had a heck of a lot of experience with trauma. And obviously the people that I work with have substance misuse issues, alcohol, drug issues, but not all of them, because, as I say, there's a lot of different categories of offenders that I deal with. But I've worked in the prison, and I've worked in with people coming out of prison as well. But over the last year, I would say I've kind of taken a different route, because I was working about 30 hours. My hours were cut back to part-time. And then I started a lot of self-development stuff. And that's led me down the path of life coaching. So it's a totally different place to be, because the people that I work with are getting sent to me by the court. They don't particularly want to be coming my way, whereas life coach is different. It's people that want to work with you. So I've learned, even though I've had that experience of working with offenders, I've learned a heck of a lot myself in this process about how to change your mindset that I didn't actually know, because that's not the stuff that I did when I was working with offenders. And now I can use that in my other work as well. So it's all encompassing, because I would really refer people to other agencies for mental health stuff, whereas I can do that kind of stuff myself now. So it's really, really interesting, but it's really hard work when you're trying to change, when people's lives are so entrenched through drug use, where people have been raised and been introduced to drugs or injecting themselves by their parents, by family members. How the heck do you change that? That's not an easy thing to do. So, you can imagine we're coming up against battles all the time, but you do get a bit of satisfaction if you can make a bit of change in someone's life anyway. So yeah, very rewarding, both sets of my life in terms of my professional work. So enjoy it.
That's great.
It's very rewarding, isn't it?
Yeah, very.
I totally agree with you, Yvonne.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Yvonne, because obviously from 12 years old, that was the first year I was handed a can of lager to battle my emotions from my own mother. And every single day, whether she's emotional or I'm emotional, angry, she used to go shopping and get me a can of beer. And it was only 2 years ago I've learned to stop that substance abuse.
Yeah.
I've learned that. So I've actually overcome something in my life. So yeah.
Good. And the thing is, you'll have been.
I've never admitted that before.
Well, well done you then. Well done you for saying that, because it's very brave to admit that, especially when a lot of people are listening to you. So well done.
Yeah.
Agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
How's things with your mum now?
Thank you. She's non-existent to me because she's abused me growing up. And the best thing I ever did, we need to save our memories with our parents, but the best decision I ever did was kick my parents out of my life.
Yeah, it's funny though, because you've just protected the gates.
Yeah.
That's not a positive. It's not a positive person to be around.
Yeah.
Not to say that you won't engage with her later on in life, but right now you're more important than that, and you're looking after yourself. Because at the end of the day, the only cup you can fill is your own until you get that full, and then you can give people the opportunity. So that's a big step in life. I know for myself, when I found out that you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, that hit home very, very hard. And I changed the way I live. Yeah. I come from a similar background.
Yeah, well, because obviously my parents allowed me to be bullied for 16 years of my entire life, every single day. And now I thought I would never, if I became a dad, I didn't even have a clue how to parent a child, sterilize a bottle, change a nappy, even looking after the child. I had no knowledge at all. And when I find out they're getting bullied, I suddenly just change into this person and nobody likes, not even my kid's mum. She doesn't like seeing me in protective mode, but I do everything in my power to protect my kids. My kids will always come first, even over me.
I was on the streets at 14, And it's going to sound funny, but it's probably one of the best educations I had. And I didn't speak about it for a long time. I used to drink myself into oblivion, cocaine, partying. I'm an ex-London party boy. You know, like all of that was to avoid who I really am.
Yeah.
Take ownership of my life. The most valuable real estate that you have is between your ears.
Yep.
If that's not owned by you, then you're in a bit of trouble.
Yeah.
And that's basically for me what mental health is. About making sure that this is working okay.
Absolutely. Because when you're using substances like that, you're just escaping the reality. You're escaping the past, or you're escaping the present because who you're surrounded or what you're going through in your head, in order to try and get rid of the demons, or however you want to describe that. You turn to substance because it helps you escape the reality, doesn't it? But when you sober up, or you become, back to reality again, then you've still got to deal with those things. It's just a mask, isn't it?
Absolutely. But everybody's got their vice. You know, it could be food, gambling.
Yeah,
could be
absolutely.
drugs, could be alcohol,
Absolutely.
Could be staying at work. Avoiding everything by staying at work. You know, could be the opposite. You know, I need to be with my family. I need to be with, you're avoiding work. You know, so there's many different opportunities. So the best thing you can do, the single best thing you can do, is just continually look for new things to learn. You know, like I know myself that when I got into the personal development side, you know, everyone's like, personal development. I'm like, it's about me. And when I started protecting me, I started protecting everybody else in my community because I was stronger. You know, so everybody in life, and there's one thing if anybody's watching, the most important thing, everybody in life has a story. Everybody in life has a different summit. And everybody's important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Own your story, own your life.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I'm going to Andy Shaz take over, please.
A good friend.
Sorry, Adam.
Yep.
I found the letter.
Yeah, well, a good friend told me today. All right, okay. Go on then, Sharon.
No, finish your story. A good friend told you today.
We're riveted now. Come on.
A good friend told me today that he told me today, if a person knows everything, then he knows nothing. But if he knows little, he's still in learning process.
Yeah.
And I totally resemble to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, this letter, Sharon, come on.
Letter, yeah. We read this last night, and as Scott picked up, it really fits this conversation well about the homeschooling and then the mental health of everybody. So, dear parents, now it's from all the teachers on planet Earth. Dear parents, don't stress about schoolwork. In September, I will get your children back on track, or sooner. I'm a teacher, and that's my superpower. What I can't fix is social emotional trauma that prevents the brain from learning. So right now, I just need you to share your calm, share your strength, and share your laughter with your children. No kids are ahead. No kids are behind. Your children are exactly where they need to be. And I thought that was lovely. Because I've seen in my group, Yvonne, I've got a group that I set up the week before school finished here. And I called it Kids and Corona initially, And then, you know, there were other subtitles about homeschooling and holidays and families. But we've dropped the corona. We're focusing on the positives.
Yes, probably a good idea.
Yeah, so it's kids, but it did draw people in initially because it was talking about how to homeschool during this. But now it's called kids, teens, families, homeschooling. And the stress levels of the parents in there who were worrying about where the kids were at and the work that was coming home and what they could do and what they couldn't do. So we just, you know, those of us who were coaches or teachers or both would just say to them, you know, what's most important during this time is how you respond as a family to this crisis. Whether there's just 2 of you or 6 of you or 8 of you, how you respond, that's what the kids are learning from. You know, they're watching how you react to losing your job or how you react to working at home. That's what they're seeing. You know, you're a role model more than ever. And without wanting to put pressure on you, if you can calm everything down and sit and have family meetings or sit and meditate together, you know, use this as a time to learn about mental health. The kids will learn easier and better. So
absolutely. I love that. Because I think it's easy to put pressure on yourself, isn't it? In terms of when you're trying to work in the house, and you know, I could lose 2 or 3 hours quite easily, and then go, oh, I better go and check and see what the kids are doing. Are they doing the, you know, when you're getting caught up in what you're doing, it is quite hard, and it is so important for people and parents not to be too hard on themselves at the moment as well. So I think it's a great thing to set up a group like that.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been a good support group for a lot of people, I think.
Yeah.
I might join myself.
Good. Yeah, I'll send you the link. Good.
Yeah, even I'm on to be in that group. Yeah. Well, I'm in that group. Yeah, well, I'm in the group on being there.
So something I learned through this COVID experience, you know, now that I'm a grade 4 teacher, one thing I learned was the fact that, geez, I'd struggle at school these days. But one of the most important things for me that I learned, I'm sitting down with Oscar, we're doing his work, and day 1, and he's made a mistake writing. So I've got 3, I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? All right.
Yep.
So I've got morning 3 times, right? So he's made a mistake. He's rubbed it all out,
right,
and then tried to rub it out. So he's trying to get rid of his mistake, and I'm like, "That's not too cool. I'm not happy with that." He goes, "Why is that? I made a mistake." I said, "Don't erase it." He goes, "Oh, okay." So then he grabbed a red pencil, put a line through it, and then put a big cross next to it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Wow. That's not too cool." So he goes, "That what happened at school with the teacher?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "Okay, let's do something else from now on." I say, when you've made a mistake, let's put a line underneath it, right? And then put an L next to it because it's a lesson. And what we're going to do is we're going to work on that on another piece of paper and then bring it back and correct it because it's not a mistake. You've just learnt that it wasn't right at the time. And I think that's something that we need to look at life a bit more like. You don't make mistakes. No, I've never met anybody who deliberately makes the bad choice. Everybody thinks they do the right thing at the right time for that particular thing based upon their experiences in life. So we need to take a little bit of pressure off things, you know, and I think that's the biggest thing, that people put too much pressure on themselves for, you know, making a mistake.
Yeah.
That's what makes us human. The ability to be able to make mistakes and change things. You know, dogs or animals, they've got a one-track mind. They don't think of anything else. We've got all these different wiring that, you know, we can think, we can change. But that's the beautiful thing about being a human. Choice, change, the ability to be able to change.
Yeah.
You know? So my little bit for everybody for Mental Health Week, you're enough. You've got it. And if you haven't, put your hand up.
Yeah.
It's the bravest thing you can do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry. I'll get my high horse and get running and a bit tired.
Oh, it's good.
But at the end of the day, we're all important. Every single one of us is important. And on it, a broken clock is right twice a day. There's gold in everybody. And it takes time to get it. I'm positive Yvonne's taken time to become this great life coach. And all those skills she's learned through working with offenders has given her the skills to be able to do these amazing jobs with life coach. Sharon's been a teacher that's just had so many different lessons that now gives her a unique ability in life coaching. Adam's been through, dyspraxia. You've had a lot of opportunities. You've got a son with autism, and that gives you the knowledge to be able to work through things. You're not coming from books. That's what makes people and life coaches so important. We're not reading a book going, okay, that's what we're going to do. You're not categorizing. We're going, no, this is our life experience. This is what we've learnt in life. Here's our goal. It's taken me 43 years to get to this point. I'm giving you 43 years worth of education when I'm working with you. Yeah. Everybody's got different opportunities. Everybody's got different experience. And you can only ever do anything based upon the experiences you've had. So find new experiences. Sit back.
Well,
Good for you.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've got my daughter in the background. I'm on the line at the moment.
That's what life is, there's interruptions, there's chinks in the internet because it gets used so much. But that's perfect. Like I can't thank Adam enough for the first time we did a panel, and it took 20 minutes to get that right. But we were still there. We're not, it's just life.
Yeah.
Be patient. It will work out. Why didn't you keep working at it?
Yeah.
Keep showing up. Keep showing up.
Yeah.
I think the other thing too.
See, even obviously been this.
What was that, Adam?
No.
Go on, Sharon.
Oh, I was going to say, I think the
other
I
was just saying, before this, I was messaging you guys saying.
The timing's fab.
Oh, I think we're clashing.
I never thought of Adam as a rude person, but he keeps cutting me off.
I know.
Oh, dude.
I'll do that.
We'll do hands up.
I think so.
The other thing, I really love what you said there, Scott. I think your life experience, and this is what I find a lot of counsellors and life coaches are coming from adversity, and I think they make the best life coaches, and I work with lots and lots of life coaches in Australia, and so the guy that is, our best addiction coach has come from a place of addiction, and the guy who is our top anxiety coach in Australia has come from a place of anxiety. So they've experienced the hard yards, as I have, as all of us have, and then they've started the journey to solve their problems, to solve their anxiety or their addictions. Then they've done the studies, and I know a lot of people scoff at life coaching and say, oh, everybody's a life coach these days. But, all the life coaches I know are so well studied, including myself. We've done course after course. We've read and read, and we'll always be learning. So then we can bring that life experience and the studies to the mix. And the studies have the models for coaching people, the strategies. So, so I would urge anybody with mental health issues, which most of us have, to do what Scott's saying, to take that step one step at a time, and to be able to feel those feelings, acknowledge them, not to mask them with addictions. If you've got addictions, reach out, get help. But I'd also encourage people to just start that personal development journey. Pick up that book in the mental health section and start reading, or see a coach. There's lots of free coaching, lots and lots of free coaching online. So many courses, you know, 5 days out of anxiety, or our addiction coach over here just did a freebie, a big freebie on drinking less, you know, changing your relationship with alcohol. It's all out there. And then the way it works is, as you guys would know, is, you know, you might do a 5-day freebie, then you make the decision as to whether you sign up with that coach for a particular fee. And that's your choice. Or you might go and find another free course. So, you know, depending on what your needs are. But the information is all out there. But people need to acknowledge that they have a challenge, and then take steps, you know, on their journey to make life better for themselves and for their family and friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, Yvonne, are you part of the Campfire Project?
Yeah, the first step to recovery is admitting that.
That's that, Adam, jumping in again.
Yeah.
I'm joking. No, I'm not.
Okay, cool. We're gonna. So Sharon and I are both part of the Campfire Project. Adam is also a part of the Campfire Project. If anybody's looking and they don't know where to start at the minute, I highly recommend you get onto the Campfire Project. The Campfire Project it's a global conversation of life coaches, life assistants, people with amazing attributes that just give away their time for free. It's not even giving it away, because every time I'm on a panel, and I do quite a few, I learn. That's where I'm getting my resources for the minute. And you can just sit there and watch and listen, ask questions. Like, if anybody's watching now, feel free to ask a question. We're all here. We're all here to support anybody going through anything at the minute. So I'm gonna go really quiet for a second, because I want Adam to come back into the conversation before I. So I'm gonna, Adam.
I know. I set this up and I'm quiet. Come on. but yeah. Right, what was I going to say? Every time I advise people who's in mental crisis, and I want people's opinion on this. Am I back? Right. I was just saying, when people are in mental health crisis, they always say that they feel negative. I'm like, right, okay. And they feel like their back's against the wall. So I always ask them one question. What are they going to do about it? Are they going to keep allowing all this negativity to push them more into this wall? Or are they going to take that first step? Because I've done that first step. I bet you three have. I bet many others have. They go through that storm. And there is always light at the end of the storm. Because a storm may be there, but a storm never lasts. It doesn't survive forever.
Yeah, I think it's about
and
people.
It gets them thinking.
Yeah, it's about people being brave enough to take the first steps. And that, when you start taking small baby steps, it's amazing what a difference it can make. And it gives, everything comes within. No one in your environment, no one on the outside can help you. You've got to be able to help yourself. And you've got to have the motivation and the commitment and the determination. There's help out there to encourage you along the way. But unless you have that within you and you learn to look within, then that's when you're able to take the first steps. And that's where you're absolutely right. I think the ethos and, you know, what we're talking about tonight, it's about self-development, positivity, and life is about, we all have obstacles. There's always things that are going to get in the way. But if you have a positive mindset and you learn to think positively and have techniques and strategies, then when things come rolling at you, you're able to cope with them a lot better.
Yeah.
Because you have these techniques and strategies that you can use. And there's so many different things that you can use. EFT, emotional freedom technique. There's NLP. There's neuro-linguistic programming. Sorry, I'm using terminology. I have to say it full just in case people don't know what I'm talking about. But there are so many different. The gratitude you were talking about earlier, Sharon. There's so many different mediums you can use in order to get yourself out of that place. And I think that individuals have limiting beliefs about themselves because they've always been told, they've believed negative things, they've had negative experiences in their life, and it's about saying, actually, what I think in my head is not true. It's in my subconscious, but it's not true. And you've got to keep on telling yourself that's not true. I can do things to change my mindset and rewire my brain into a more positive mindset.
Yeah.
I can go off on a tangent. I could be here, but yeah, I'm quite passionate about it. But yeah, it's just about trying to encourage people and give people the motivation that it's possible for anyone to get out of the situation that they're in if they put their mind to it.
How do you support? How do you? You've got a mate, you've got someone that you love, and they're dealing with some mental health issues. They got some stuff going on that you can clearly see. How do you help them? What can you say to them to make it? Because what can you say?
Do you know, sometimes it's quite hard when it's in your own environment.
Yeah.
And that's the difficult part, that sometimes it needs someone, a third party, to speak to someone. Because we don't always listen to the people that are living in that household that we're in or in that environment. So sometimes it's about, I think sometimes it's important to listen to a third party so that they can get the benefit of the experience of someone else. So that's maybe a good starting point for a lot of people, to get that help from out with their own home. If you can start that journey, then the person that you're with can then help you along the way with that journey as well within your own house.
Yeah.
Based on your experience as well.
Yeah, I think that's incredibly important, because if you're inside the environment and it puts more pressure on your environment, right? When you try and work together. One of the things that I've learned over time is if someone's hurting, I thank them. Gratitude's everything. You can find gratitude in everything. Thank you for showing me that things aren't okay at the minute. I don't have the tools to deal with this. Can we work together to find the tools?
Yeah.
Because you're supporting, you're not putting it on them. You're thanking them for showing you that, they are hurting. Because that's when people are showing you they're hurting, in a strange way, they're actually showing you that they care about you, because they're hurting and they don't know how to deal with it. And it's just bang.
Yeah.
But it's not you. It's not you that they're angry with. It's themselves.
Yeah.
Guilt, anger, it only affects the person that holds it.
Yeah.
Because people push away on things. But if you can thank somebody for showing you that, and then take them towards finding the tools, don't take it on yourself, especially if you're living in an environment, because if you're just going to add more fuel to the fire, because then they fail forward even further, So, yeah. And as I'm an ultra marathon runner, I do crazy runs, and every single one of them starts with the first step.
Yeah.
Scott, I want to add to that. Scott, I want to add to that because Scott, I want to add to what you're saying because I totally believe 1,000. I was abused growing up. I was put on a child protection plan growing up because of domestic violence. I grown up to believe all of that was my fault. All the abuse, it was my fault. I've now learned to accept it was never my fault. And I've only got 2 words to describe these abusers, and that is thank you. I'm thanking them because I'm not forgetting it and I'm not forgiving them. I've just got to thank you for them because they have made me realise that I want to be somebody in life, and they've made me into this person. I actually want to be this person. I used to say I hate my life. I wasn't enough. I was ugly. I was fat. I was saying all negative stuff. I can now sit here and say I love my life.
That's a great place to be, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mate, that was one of my...
Oh, yes.
That is absolutely beautiful. That is the hardest thing to do, to understand that. So inside the campfire, there's a conversation, and it's only for those inside the conversation of myself and my father. Pretty much took 30 years to have.
I've seen that.
There is a lot of pain and trauma inside that relationship. And I had to do a lot of work on myself and just accept it is what it is. Hurt people hurt people. Yeah. It's that simple, you know. Yeah. Mate, I'm really proud of you, Adam. That's a big one. So thank you to somebody that, you know, did inflict pain on you. But know that you couldn't be you if you didn't go through that.
Yeah.
The most beautiful people have the deepest wounds. So, yeah. Oh, so.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what we'll do, guys, is we'll wrap this up. We'll wrap this up. So, Scott, any final advice? What you'll give to the viewers?
Yeah, I've got my big one for people is smile. Okay, it is the best gift you can ever give yourself, because one of the things that I'm really big on is if you come home from work and you've had a shit day and it's not gone well and everything's mounting on you, and you've walked in the door and you haven't smiled and you've taken all that pressure, walk back outside the door. Yep. Put a smile on your face, raise your cheeks, and then walk inside that door. Without saying a word, you've let every single person in that room know that they are important enough for you to change your attitude to come in there and get them a smile. It's free. You never know what someone's dealing with. Smile. So, yeah. Thank you.
Fantastic. Yvonne.
Yeah, so I would say that, as I say, from what we've been speaking about tonight, I would just reiterate that there are so many different ways that you can change your life and get yourself out of that situation, the limiting beliefs, the beliefs about yourself, the self-sabotaging, what you've been brought up with, what the life that you've had. You can, from this day on, you can become a different person if you want to, and anyone can do it. It's possible. You know, we've got people here that have had life experiences that have been really difficult and are able to do it. So you've been able to prove that you can do that. So, and there's always help there. There's always someone to be able to speak to. There's lots of organisations. Be brave and take that step forward and do a little bit digging deep. Look within to start helping yourself, I would say.
Yeah. Fantastic. Sharon.
Yeah, two things. One was along Scott's lines, and one was along Yvonne's lines. Along Scott's lines, um, you know, like he said, you come into the house and you'd be all cranky and what have you, and then you come in again. So one of the ones that I've learned is change your state, change your mind. So you get up. Mine is always in the morning. So, you get up and you're worrying about things and you're feeling anxious, maybe a bit depressed. What can I do to change my state? And I think this is a Tony Robbins one, actually. So if I go for a walk, will I feel better? Tick. If I do some stretches or a meditation, will I feel better? Yes. If I scroll through Facebook and drink coffee, will I feel better? Maybe, but the scrolling through Facebook is the news, the corona stats and the earthquake and the shooting. And so what I can deal with all that later when I am feeling better. So change your state, change your mind. And then on to Yvonne's points, just taking those steps out of the situation. And I think the first thing is to acknowledge and say, look, my life is shit. I am drinking too much. I am suffering anxiety. There's times where I just don't want to get out of bed. Time to take stock, to find someone to help me. Time to put my hand up and say, what can I do? What's my first step? And if you don't know the steps, find the people who do. Sing out to any of us anytime.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And mine, just a couple of them. I've got today's quote here from the Paulo Coelho. When you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Achieved
Like
it.
that.
I wanted to be a mental health first aider, and I've got the support here. And another one, which seems everybody loves, is people who are going through crisis. Quote to yourself: if I can survive the war that I battle with myself, I can survive anything.
Very powerful.
It is. Like that.
Very powerful.
Yeah.
And there you go. We will end this broadcast now. I love you all.
Hey, thanks
Thank
very
you.
much.
Lovely to meet you all as well.
Yeah, you too, Yvonne. Thank you.
Take
Thanks,
care.
guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
Awesome.
Come on.